Thokozani Royals, here back with another lesson, and today I want us to talk about the divine elements. We are body, we are spirit, and many of us think that in order for us to take care of one, we need to neglect the other. We always need to choose one above the other. It's either you're taking care of your physical body or you're concentrating on your spiritual growth. But in actual fact, the two cannot be separated. They coexist. Our body carry the spirit. They are a vessel for the spirit, and our spirit expresses itself through the body. And today I just want us to explore how we can align both and how we can use what we already have to actually align the two, the divine elements that we have at our disposal. So Thokoza Badimu child, if you're here for the first time, welcome. I'm Gog Noma. This is Learning with Noma, your home of comprehensive learning and healing. We're simply here to change our lives one lesson at a time. If you resonate with what I'm teaching, please, if you do have practices that you do in your own space with the elements that I'll be talking about today, do not hesitate to leave a comment so that we can also learn. At the end of the day, it's Learning with Noma, because we are here to learn together, me from you, you from me. And if you've got a question, please do ask and an answer shall be given. So today we are simply here to answer the question, how do we align using the divine elements that we already have at our disposal? And as I said earlier this year, that I'm going to be very intentional about my teachings as a sister. So Sister Noma meets Gogo Noma. That is one of my main goals, to integrate indigenous ways of healing with the modern ways of healing, or even indigenous ways of teachings with the modern ways of teachings. I'm intentionally getting into the lessons. I'm drawing up lesson plans so that I'm able to structure my teachings and not find myself going too long without actually covering the topic that I need to cover in the video. So today, as I say, we're going to be talking about the divine elements. The first one, water. For me, the source and flow of life. If you look in a lot of African creation stories, water is there. You look at the Ngoni people, or you look at the Zulu people, we talk about Mlenze Munye, the one who came from the reeds. Even in the Basotho culture, we are still talking about the men that came from the reeds. So water becomes an important part, as much as we talk about us coming from the earth, hence returning to the earth, but we also understand the importance of water in the story of creation. Even science says to us 70% of our bodies are made of water. This is one of the basic teachings in nursing, anatomy and physiology, and this is where you learn that 70% of our bodies are water. And none of us can go a day without getting into contact with water. But the question today is, how are you intentionally and consciously using water to align back to your natural cycle? Water is healing. Water carries memories. Water carries energy. Water carries intention. So it is very important for us to come back to the source, to this element, and use it with intention. Water can be used to nourish, and it also cleanses both the physical and the spiritual being. When you are holding your glass of water, as you're going to drink it, it is going to nourish the body, but that very same glass of water you can utilize to also nourish the spirit, to also talk intention and heal not just your physical, or nourish not just your physical body, but also your soul, and give life where it is needed. So how do we do this? One, we start by talking to our water, intentionally speaking life, meaning that we activate the energy of life in the water, whatever that you need the water to do for you. Because this is not just about the water that you're going to drink, water that you are going to consume, water that you're going to use to bath, water that you're going to use to cook. Water listens in order for it to heal, you need to speak intention. When you speak, it listens, and when it listens, it then uses your voice to activate certain energies that are already there. So it has there's a lot of potential energy in water, and this can be seen with mostly prophets, or in the times when our ancestors couldn't even use muti. Water was the source. Somebody asked me a while back to say, "Hey Gogo, I'm fighting with my mentor. My ancestors gave me a dream to say they need her to give me the highest ranking sehwasho, the cleanser for Abba Prophet." And I was like, okay, why didn't you ask your ancestors to give it to you right there in the dream? But in all honesty, Banababa Dimu, in all honesty, in my space, I don't know anybody's space. I'm speaking for me, as you know, this is my own lived experiences. But in my space, water becomes so hashoseseholu, because we cannot do anything without water. You can have the muti, you can have the bath salts, you can have the herbs mixed and all, but without water, there's no cleansing that will take place. So this becomes then the highest cleanser when we talk about if we need to now rank, which is something that nature doesn't do. It doesn't rank itself. It says, how do I complement you? How do you complement me? How do we work together? And then we can become greater than what we are at an individual base. So when we talk about water, just before you drink it, just before you bath, just before you cook, speaking to your water activates the energy to feed the intention that you are hoping to receive from the water. And this is how you can use water to align yourself. Every time you hold water, remember that water listens, water nourishes, water heals. Water is going to hear you. Water adapts, depending on what it is that you carry. The water is going to adapt to you, but most of all, water transforms. So if you are still not intentional and conscious about how you come into contact with water, the water is going to adapt to who you are. But if you are conscious and intentional and aware of the changes and transformations that you need water to bring into your life, water is going to bring the transformation, and water is going to transform. The second element that I want us to talk about is light, the fire within us. And I'm not talking about fire yet. We're going to get to fire as an element, but I'm talking about the light within us. In anatomy, we learn about the cell. And one of the things in physiology that you see, and I think for many who have Instagram and are following spiritual pages, you would have seen there was one video that was trending a lot in the past few weeks, where they actually show that even at birth, light is sort of like there. When the ovum and the sperm comes, you see this bright light coming. So there is that light already that is within us, and that's the light that I want to talk about. I want us to talk about cell communication, the cell, the building blocks of our body. How do we communicate light through the cells? How are you even making sure that whatever that you're consuming affects your energy field in the right way? That is why when we meet people, we say, I don't like her energy, I didn't like her aura. This is where all this stems in. It is the light from within, the fire that is ignited inside of you. And we can use a lot of sources to gain the light, but I'm particularly going to try to break it down to a few. One, we know that exposure to the sun. So we're talking natural light when we are speaking about igniting the light within us, therefore the fire within us. Natural light, exposure to the sun. This is one of the best ways in which you can align yourself back to your natural cycle. Sitting in the sun, being in that natural light, allowing it to charge you, allowing it to strengthen you, allowing it to revive you, allowing it to give you all the natural light that is necessary for you to move forward. And you know how but Papa Hulu would say, I don't know about others, but me, I grew up with my grandmother, and one of the lessons that my grandmother always taught me was that the sun must never rise before you. And when the sun is out, even if you're not feeling well, the first thing you're told is that wake up, make your bed, open the windows, make sure that there is enough sunlight coming in. When babies are born, one of the first healing elements, because the little ones sometimes come out and they've got what we call jaundice, and the first thing that a mother would be told is give your child enough food, meaning that they are yellow because they're not receiving enough nourishment from you, which will be the breast milk. But again, the second thing is the light, the natural light. You need to make them lie in a space where they'll be under direct sunlight. Obviously, you need to be careful of how much direct sunlight you're giving to them, but that would be the main thing. So the natural light activates, and it is one of those elements that really nourishes us, and we need to start sitting. Many of us, we live in apartments, we live in flats, there's no garden, and then you go to an office 9 to 4, you are in a building, so we never get enough exposure to the direct light. Whenever you can, please go in the park, go walk in the park. Yes, we know the sun rays now, the UV light is a little bit high now. We will use our sunscreen, but sometimes not 30 minutes, maybe 5 minutes indirect sunlight, just to recharge yourself. That is very helpful in terms of aligning. But also I want to talk about the things that we consume in terms of emotions and at a psychological level. So this is at the physical level, we can use the direct sunlight, but also what are you consuming? What is the source of your light at a mental level? What content are you watching? What books are you reading? What are you doing to bring light and life into your space? Because the books that you read can bring you into alignment. Relearning or learning something new ignites the excitement in you, and that is the fire that I'm talking about, that is within. Those are some of the practices that we can do to realign back to our natural selves. And the other element that I wanted to talk about is the fire, the inner power, because fire transforms. So when I talk about fire, I need us to also look at the fire that is how we can use fire that we have outside of ourselves to actually have rituals that are going to ignite the inner fire in us. Remember that fire consumes everything away that does not serve us anymore, but it is also important to fuel our purpose, because once everything that is not needed is not there, then we can then create from that. When you put something through the fire, you are transforming it, because it loses the previous shape, the previous structure, and it becomes something else that you can maneuver. Something you take, for an example, the people who work with glass, how they would use fire and how they would mold the glass based on what they want to make after putting it through the fire. So fire is very important for transformation. You can do your candle rituals, lighting your candle, looking at the fire. You can sit around gazing fire, your bonfires. I remember there were 15 of us, so that's why I'd always refer to when we were Baba would always encourage us to make fire. At the time you're sitting, then you're wondering, but why are we sitting at 12 o'clock at night around the fire? And even now, when you go back to the olden days, you would see how sitting around the fire in the evening, storytelling was told, and how even the encouragement of the young ones to understand the fire, look at it, look what it's doing, how even today we still very conscious of fire and finding it very sacred. The only problem with me about how we approach fire these days is the fear that we instill in our little ones around fire. My little one knows you can't touch it, but he knows the importance of sitting and looking at the fire. And sometimes when I'm distracted, if we're lighting a candle and we're sitting in meditation, he'll actually be the one that, nowadays he's the one who will actually pull me and say, I need to focus. Look at the fire, mommy. So I love that. And he's only 2. So I love that. I love that because already at this age, he's understanding the importance of ritual. So yes, fire is very important. You can actually use it in many techniques. You can light your candle, you can write down whatever that it is that you need to release, and you can burn it and see it transformed. And you can also even take things that you want to see come to transformation in your life. It's not necessarily to release them, but you want to see them transformed into something bigger, into something better. And you can write them down, put them through the fire, and see the transformation happen. So yeah, remember that fire is about passion, it's about willpower, and it's about cleansing. So but my child, are you tending to your fire? Are you taking time for those rituals? Sometimes just walking into the house and having candles and lighting them. Sometimes just sitting in front of a candle and focusing on the fire itself. That is a ritual enough to help you align back to your natural cycle. And then the next one that I would like to talk about, the element of air, the breath of spirit, the breath of life. Air is life. Without it, there's no existence. I can't live without you. This is the person that you need to be telling that I can't live without you. Oxygen, air. But how many of us are breathing consciously? How many of us are even aware that we are breathing? It is one of those acts that we just forget. We put them in the bag, yet they're the most vital and they're the most natural of acts that our bodies do in order for us to continuously align with who we are at a natural state. So when you are breathing in, you're breathing spirit in, you're breathing new life into yourself. And when you breathe out, this is a chance for you to release anything that no longer serves you. Science teaches us that when we exhale carbon dioxide, which is then taken up by the plants for their process of photosynthesis. And when the plants exhale, they exhale oxygen so that we can breathe it in, which then helps us with our own metabolic processes, which is life in itself. So, but my child, how do you align? By consciously breathing. Meditation practices, one of them is breathing exercises, deep conscious breathing exercises, being told to breathe in and breathe out. And when you breathe in, being told that you need to feel your chest expand and your stomach expand fully, and let go of the breath slowly. Breathe in slowly, and just sitting in the small room, sitting in the toilet. This is an exercise that you can do every single day. 60 seconds. Because how many times do you go? I promise you will reach the 5 minutes. How many times do you go a day? Sometimes just breathing when you wake, consciously breathing when you wake up, taking that breath in and that breath out, scanning your body and seeing how you're doing in the morning. That, for some of us who have toddlers, that might be a little bit impossible sometimes when they wake up before you. But when I do wake up before him, I do take a moment just to take a deep breath in and release it very slowly while I am scanning my body and understanding that I am breathing life and I need to exhale anything else that does not serve me. Another thing with the air is the wind rituals, and this can be done by lighting an incense stick. For many of us in the African culture, we talk about impepo. By lighting impepo, cleansing you, as you cleanse your physical space and you smudge. You can also smudge yourself, but also as you breathe in the incense, you know that you are also smudging the spirit that is within the body, which is the vessel. So that can also be one of the easy ways to create a ritual with the air to cleanse and to help align self. Because whatever that you are doing in breath, you need to always remember that you need to inhale what serves you and you need to exhale what no longer serves you. And with what I said earlier about us exhaling carbon dioxide, giving it to the plants for them to reuse, and us inhaling the oxygen from the plants in order for us to reuse, it's just also nature's way of saying what no longer serves you. When you release it back to nature, it will naturally be received by one who needs it in order for it to serve them in a way that needs that they need to be served. So when you're holding on to things that no longer serve you, you're also depriving others of receiving what is meant for them. So, Badimu child, right now, in this moment, in this video, I need you to close your eyes. I need you to take a deep breath in, hold it, and I need you to slowly breathe out. I need you to breathe in, and as you're breathing in, I need you to breathe in life, see light. Hold it for a moment as you look around to see what it is that you need to release. Release that which no longer serves you. And this is a ritual, an alignment ritual to help you align with your natural self using the divine elements that are around us. The other element that I would love to talk about is metal. This is about strength and conductivity. We are made of metals, or our bodies contain metals, particularly iron, zinc, and copper, and these are important to help with the conductivity or the electrical conduction between the physical and the spiritual body. And simple acts such as grounding ourselves, sitting on the ground, simple acts such as consuming food rich in these minerals also can help us with aligning back to the body, making sure that you are aware that I'm eating my morojo, and you are keeping all your minerals in order. So that's why I was talking about diet, because this is going to really help. Alignment requires us to know how to work with our own conductivity. That's why a lot of people nowadays, you'll find that we are drinking multivitamins so that we can get all those minerals. One, because of the diet that we eat is not really in alignment with what our body's needs. But once you're on the right diet, once you consume the right food, half the time you're gonna find that even those other supplements that we are taking are not really needed. But another thing is the reality of our now, of our era. A lot of our food are processed. They are not natural in their nature. I'm trying to find the right words, but they're not natural in terms of how, you find seedless grapes, you find seedless watermelons, all those. So it will be again encouraged that maybe in your diet you also include a multivitamin, or if you are lucky enough and you are able to, please watch what you are eating and make sure that the food that you are consuming are also rich in this minerals, or in this particularly the iron, the zinc, and the copper, in order for us to talk about metals in the body. Another thing that you find a lot of healers doing is wearing, or a lot of spiritual people doing, is wearing certain metals. This also help with that, because whatever that you put on your body, I know a lot of old people, you'll find them having the copper metals because they help with the bone, with problems with our skeletal muscular system, or the bones. So yeah, we need to be conscious already. This can be something that you can use to help realign your energy. As I said, for me, what I wanted to really dwell on in this lesson is particularly because the wearing of metals, and it's not for everybody, but what I particularly wanted to talk about was the grounding. Yes, people wear their necklaces, you can wear your earrings, you can wear your watches, all those, remember, that are metals, and that's why some people even react somehow to them. So be conscious of the type of metals that you're putting on your body. But what I needed to really talk about was grounding, because this is something that you can do every day. Every day you can take 10-15 minutes just sitting on the ground, holding your water, being in the sun, and actually activating or realigning using multiple elements at the same time at a natural exposure. You can be grounding sitting in your bedroom on the floor, lighting your candle, holding your water, and using all these three elements at once to realign. The last element that I want to dive into, I know I spoke about the minerals, but in particularly now we're saying iron, copper, and zinc as metals. I'm also going to talk about the minerals themselves, the foundation of our being. We are from the earth, and just like minerals, we also are from the earth, and we need these minerals to help keep the natural alignment and balance between the body and the spirit. So when we start understanding that, like rocks, our bones hold the oldest of wisdom, and you find that most of the minerals are needed by the bones, and the bones are the hardest to have these minerals absorbed. So you'll find that, yes, we can sit in the sun and have the vitamin D, but it is mostly needed by our bones. So once you start understanding what kind of diet you need to follow in order to help the absorption of these minerals into the core memory holder, the hard drive of the body, which will be your bones, the one that will always remember certain things, the rock of the body, the structure, the foundation of the body, then that also helps a lot. The other thing that you can do to help use minerals as a form of or use minerals in your rituals to align is crystals. Crystals are a good source of minerals. Hence, a lot of us as healers now, we are going back. I'm going to say we're going back to crystals. I was asking somebody the other day to say, do you know how for us who grew up in the location, you'd always find a corner in other yards where the mother of the house would always be piling up rocks, and if you touch the rocks, you'll be screamed at, out, and we never understood. But you would also be amazed as a child of the different shapes of the rock, the different shades of the rock, the different colors of the rocks, and we never really understood that these were crystals, and they were creating an energy field around the home. They were also creating an energy field around the house, because some of them would even decorate with the crystal stones around the house. So the crystals, as we use them now, it might look like a new concept, but it is something that has been used a lot in African cultures and indigenous ways of healing in order to help with alignment rituals, not just for our physical energy fields, but also for the body. Hence, when one is struggling with self-love, we will encourage that they have a rose quartz around their neck, so that they keep it close and they can talk to it, just to make an example. So, Badimo child, what are those? How are you using the minerals? How are you honoring the minerals within yourself by using the minerals outside of yourselves to help align the body with the physical body with the spiritual body? So these are the divine elements that I wanted to just dive into today, 6 of them. What I need us to remember is that alignment is not something that is external. Alignment is already within us. When you understand that, when you understand your physical anatomy and your spiritual anatomy, you will then stop seeking outside of yourself, and you will start using what is already here within you to help align. Because remember, again, what we say is that what is here on earth is just the mirror of what is already in heaven. And when we talk heaven, I'm not talking about a place made of gold somewhere up there, but I'm just saying that whatever is or is manifesting here at a physical realm is already existing in the spiritual realm. We're just seeing the physical manifestation of it as a physical body. So please use this natural divine elements that are available to us to do your rituals and to practice alignment. Remember that alignment is not something that is external. It is something that already exists within you. If you understand your physical anatomy, then you will also understand your spiritual anatomy. You will stop seeking alignment outside of yourself, but you will understand that you need to start working with what you already have. As we always say, that what we see in the physical realm is already existing in the spiritual realm. So there's no way we can have minerals in the physical and then non-existent in the spiritual. All you need to do, or all you need to strive towards, is to understand, how do I align the two? And I talk about alignment because, as I always say, we are forever connected. The connection is there. The fact that you are alive and here and watching this video means that the spirit is connected to the body. The only thing is the discomfort that we feel is telling us that there is a misalignment. We are not aligned. So all we strive for is to align, making sure that the body, the physical body and the spiritual body are aligned in their nature. For those who are ready to go deeper, I will be sharing detailed rituals and techniques exclusive with my YouTube community subscribers. So if you're ready to take your journey further, and if you're ready for the next level, please do click the join button. It should be here somewhere at the bottom. And remember that until we meet, just take care of yourself, strive to stay in alignment. Remember that your body is sacred, your spirit is powerful, and alignment is your birthright. Never be told otherwise. Alignment is your birthright. But dear child, if you find that this lesson resonates with you, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And for those who are ready for the next level, please join my YouTube community for exclusive teachings, for guided rituals, and for detailed guidance. I am Gog Noma. This is Learning with Noma, your home of comprehensive learning and healing. Until next time, Lisedi Badimo child.